downtown Atlanta after a disappointing loss last Saturday at Heinz Field. Georgia Tech is back home. Bobby Dodd Stadium at historic Grant Field. Second meeting all time with the Eagles of Georgia Southern and the Yellow Jackets. And Tyson Summers, in his first year in Statesboro, has brought the boys from Eagle Creek to Atlanta for a second time. And the Ramblin' Wreck, of course, for better than 50 years has led Georgia Tech onto Grant Field, and Paul Johnson's Jackets are back at home on this Saturday. With James Bates, Wes Durham, we welcome you upstairs. Jen Hildreth will join us in just a moment. No question, last Saturday was disappointing. 2 weeks ago, the loss to Miami, disappointing for the Jackets. And Paul Johnson's team is looking to get back on track in a non-conference game today.
Yeah, and you look at the Clemson game. Clemson's a better football team than Georgia Tech right now. Miami, ball bounced Miami's way, and good for them to come get a big old win. But against Pitt, just a heartbreaker. You talk about a tip ball that goes to the house, but that's the way it goes. They'd like to get a few more big plays. And who's it going to start with? Number 5, Justin Thomas, just as he has done every time he started at quarterback for Georgia Tech. He's the same guy. Paul Johnson actually said his last 2 games, even in losses, have been his best games. He went 7 of 10 against Pitt, should have been 9 of 10 with 2 drops. But he's the guy. Everybody else, all the other pieces, not quite the same as 2014, a couple years ago when he was the Orange Bowl MVP. The other pieces really need to step up because they do have some playmakers around him.
Well, and meanwhile, they'll see an Eagles team today, Jen, that doesn't have just one star quarterback. They've got 2.
Yeah, you'll definitely get a chance to see both Kevin Ellison and Fabian Upshaw. These 2, both redshirt seniors, a big part of what this Georgia Southern team does, running the ball especially. They lead all active quarterback duos in the nation with over 4,100 yards career rushing between the 2 of them. And they've been doing this in this Georgia Southern offense together for 3 years. Head coach Tyson Summers says everybody wants to create a quarterback controversy. Well, there isn't one. And Kevin Ellison told me the exact same thing. He said these 2 support each other. They know that they are what makes this team go. And the question now is, how healthy are both of them with all of the rushing that they do? And Coach Summers said they are as healthy as they've been all season long. Upshaw only had 2 snaps in the last game, but guys, expect him to start today and expect these 2 to rotate series.
2014, Wes, the only time these 2 teams, believe it or not, have gotten together, and Southern gave the Jackets everything they wanted and then some. And Justin Thomas, really one of the better performances of his career for Paul Johnson. And Paul Johnson knows a little something about Statesboro. Tyson Summers does too, growing up in Southern Georgia.
Well, and Tyson Summers, at 36 years of age, a native of Tifton, in his opening season at Statesboro. And of course, Paul Johnson, James, you mentioned, had an unbelievable career, won 86% of his games and 2 national titles for the Eagles from 1997 to 2001. The Eagles won the toss and have elected to defer. So they will trot out Tyler Bass, a freshman redshirt, to kick it away. And J.J. Green, who ran a kickback for a score last week in Pittsburgh, 3rd in the ACC and 16th nationally in kickoff return yardage.
96 yards. We talk about big plays. They've been lacking a little bit. Not on special teams when you talk J.J. Green, who also had a touchdown from his tailback spot in that game against Pitt.
Underway from Atlanta. Great to have you with us. And there won't be a return for Green. So the Jackets will get started from their own 25-yard line. And here is the senior from Prattville, Alabama, the redshirt senior, Justin Thomas, James, who now finds himself top 10 in 6 different career categories at Georgia Tech.
What a player. 33rd consecutive start. Got some new pieces in front of him, actually. Some tackles switched up with some injuries. Offensive line needs to help these guys out in the backfield against what will be a very hungry Eagle bunch they're facing today.
The true freshman Mills is the B-back behind Thomas, and the 2 slots are Green and Lynch and Thomas to throw on first down. And this is Ricky June for 11 yards to the 36 ahead of Darius Jones Jr., the corner. And here's our Toyota Impact players.
Well, right on impact. Ironhead Gallen. Well, you'll see the senior linebacker very active today for the Eagles. And even though this is a running football team, about 80% of the time, sometimes the snow comes down in June. Ricky June, right on cue there with a nice catch to move the chains first play from scrimmage.
Base formation out of the Yellow Jacket spread option, and here's the toss. And this is Quay Searcy. He'll pick up 5 to the 40, and
Quay Searcy carries the ball.
Through the air is Deshaunte Ironhead Gallen. 46 total tackles at 13 in the loss at Western Michigan and an honorable mention, all Sun Belt a year ago.
He's such a good linebacker. He's, of course, one of our Toyota Impact players that we just showed you. You can't call him Deshaunte. You got to call him Ironhead. Played his high school ball at Madison County down for the Cowboys in the Panhandle in Florida. Great program.
Thomas on the option, keeps it. He'll step away from Gallen into Georgia Southern territory, and Justin Thomas is gone. Ricky June gave him a great block on the edge, James. 58 yards later, it's a touchdown.
Watch the middle linebacker now, Gallen. He's going to take the wrong angle. You know, that's one thing that he does see when he goes against his own team. He's got some speedy quarterbacks that run that option look. He should be used to it. Justin Thomas' speed is on another level, and he takes the wrong angle, and 5 makes him pay. Everybody else doing their job.
Butker's point after is good. 3 snaps in Atlanta. And Justin Thomas has his second rushing score of the year. And this one's a dandy. 58 yards, and it's 7-0 Jackets.
Tonight, the Wild return to the stadium.
And by Toyota. Let's go places. Now look inside the Georgia Tech football locker room underneath the double-deck north end zone. And Justin Thomas, the 58-yard run, caps a quick drive of 72 seconds to put Georgia Tech in front. But Jackets know all too well, James. They ran to a big lead here 2 years ago. Paul Johnson talked to us about it yesterday. Got a little fat and happy and then had to hold on at the end, did his club. 2 guys are deep, and this is Malik Henry 3 yards deep to bring the kick out. Henry stepping away at the 15 and then dropped at the 21-yard line. How about another look at the great run by Thomas here?
All right, go ahead and play it for me, guys. Watch the bodies that are going to hit the ground. Go ahead and pause it right now for me. Okay, pause it. Okay, going to get cut. This guy's going to get cut as well. Here's Ricky June, the receiver, does a fantastic job on his guy. Here's Gallen. Gallen comes here like he's going to make it for a no-gainer. He needs to flatten. He takes a bad angle, go ahead and play it. And boom, it just gives him a little hand, does Justin Thomas, and it's off to the races. And Ricky June has done a good job catching the football as of late. But just as good in this offense, and just as important, more important even, is blocking. He's been really good blocking on the perimeter.
Southern from its 21, and Fabian Upshaw gets tracked down by Rodrook Chungong on the opening snap. It'll be a loss of 2. There is the veteran senior from Titusville, Florida, started his collegiate career at Florida International, Fabian Upshaw.
Well, whether it's Upshaw or Ellison, as Georgia Tech found out the hard way a couple weeks ago, penetration against any offense is going to be a crusher. And if Rod and company can keep doing that all day long, it's going to be a long one for the Eagles.
Upshaw wants to throw, looked here near side for B.J. Johnson and just threw it into the Georgia Tech bench.
I think he wanted a double pump. I think he wanted a double move and felt like he had him. How about Toyota Impact players over here as we await this 3rd down and 12. There we go. Matt Breed has got to get going. We haven't seen him yet, but the senior from Brooksville, Florida, is a good back. They've got 3 really talented backs. And Antonio Simmons, watch 93. Boy, did he have a great performance against Pitt in the loss last week. 6 tackles, and he's really starting to understand this defense and make some big plays for him. What does Ted Roof have on 3rd and 12 for him?
Upshaw going to throw back across the middle. Catch made. That's Crockett, the redshirt senior, and he's tracked down by Step Durham at the 26-yard line.
We'll give you that. Good job defensively. A nice 3 and out. You can have all those underneath throws you want, and a great job recovering by Step Durham, who, no pun intended, was a step behind, but he's got help up top. Secure those sticks and force them to punt. So that's a nice start, not only offensively, but defensively as well for the home team.
Number 9 punter in the Sun Belt is Matt Flynn of the Eagles. Brad Stewart from Savannah waits at the 34. Knuckleball kick. Jacket's got to be careful, and Stewart will get out of the way, and it got kicked around by Georgia Southern. Finally, Ironhead Gallen touched it up at the 29-yard line, so that's where the Jackets will start after a 45-yard punt. And Justin Thomas, who set sail in the first series, James. Well, if you're Tyson Summers, who's a defensive-minded coach, his coordinator, Lorenzo Costantini, he worked with at UCF as his defensive coordinator, how much adjustment can you make after what you saw in that first series from what you've been working on this week?
Well, you know, they knew they were going to get cut. The guys that got cut, you can't get cut. I mean, we know that. We practiced it even against your own offense. And Ironhead Gallen, he's a better linebacker than that. He just needs to take a better angle. That's football 101. Take proper angles and make the tackle.
Straight ahead, here goes Mills. Flag down on the play at the line of scrimmage as Dedrick Mills gets out to about the 36-yard line. Jay Baldry, the field safety.
Offsides. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Bernard Dawson, one of the defensive ends for Georgia Southern. How about on our Ford Keys, James?
All right, well, doing the little things and you know, in finishing drives for Georgia Southern. One thing they did not do, they didn't finish the game against Arkansas State. For Georgia Tech, that's not a misprint, because you know how Georgia Southern, their big thing is get after their ASS's. Well, Georgia Tech has to get after their ASS's too. They've got to fight fire with fire, because you know, there's a look at it. They all have it. I mean, you know what that means if you're from Southern Georgia. And they swear by it. This will be a physical, motivated football team, no matter who they play, but especially when they come up and play an in-state rival like this, they've got to match that, and so far they have.
Well, they hit the dive play right here. So now second down. And let's call it 4 at the 35 for Georgia Tech. And there's Tyson Summers. Opening campaign in Statesboro was Mike Bobo at Colorado State a year ago. After many years at Central Florida with George O'Leary, a former Georgia Tech head coach. Thomas on a drop. Going to take the shot, and wide open is Lynch. Clinton Lynch will score.
There's June up top, and Lynch is left to run all alone. The backers were walked up. Everybody walked up, showing blitz and looking to stop the run. And Clinton Lynch has been the guy that they've really leaned on here this season, and the guy to make a big play outside of Justin Thomas. And now Zephyr needing some big plays coming into this game after the loss. No hangover, it doesn't seem so far anyway, Wes.
2 touchdowns in the first 5 snaps for the Yellow Jackets on offense. And the latest is Clinton Lynch.
So, Pete, what's this?
My goodness.
Averaging a touch, 32.8 yards coming in. It was big versus big. Okay, right here. Here's Bryce. Bryce has got him. I'm not sure what the safety walked down, and Robert Bryce is thinking. Up top, Jay Baldry over to help on the other side. Man coverage, and obviously you got to get the man, and no one found the man who ended up in the end zone in Clinton Lynch. So a big-time bust, and just like that, it's 14-0.
And there'll be no return of the Butker offer. Eagles will play from their 25. 5 snaps in, 2 scores.
Well, zip, zip. Here we go. It was the first one again. Justin Thomas, great blocking down the field. Perimeter blocking. That's what springs to the big plays in this offense. And a little bust doesn't hurt at all when you're looking for some big-time action. And Clinton Lynch just keeps on making the big plays for Georgia Tech. An easy 14 for Paul Johnson and company.
64 wins in Atlanta, 171 now in 20 years as a head coach. Native of Newland, North Carolina. Ball at the 25, and Upshaw back at the controls. Looking to throw and overshoots his tight end. That's Kevin Ackerman, redshirt freshman out of the Bolles School in Jacksonville. 6'5", 247-pound youngster who they're pretty excited about. He's got an older brother playing college football.
Well, he had him. He, forced to rush it a little bit as the pressure started to come down on Upshaw. Upshaw and Ellison both can throw it. This is a team that likes to run the football, but they're not afraid to throw it around. But now with an incomplete pass, you're looking at 2nd and 10.
Here's Breida's first carry. And not much there. James lost a yard. Your guy Roderick Chungang must have heard you were here today, James.
He wants me to sing for him again.
16 total tackles coming in, and he's already been a factor a couple times. One of your favorites.
Yeah, watch these big guys just owning the line. I mean, boom, taking the pop to them. Again, penetration, and nothing's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more where that came from if they continue to win that initial battle. And now you've got a 3rd down and 10 in an offense that hasn't been able to move it at all.
6 DBs, 3-2-6, the alignment for Georgia Tech. Upshaw scrambles in the pocket, works to the left side. He'll get the first down. And one of Ted Roof's big concerns, the Georgia Tech defensive coordinator yesterday, kind of the open field play, the busted play, the 3rd down quarterback draw.
Well, it really bit this team against Arkansas State defensively, and here they're dishing it out this time. Upshaw can really run, as you see here. So tough in the open field. And the 3-man pressure got there, but it was just 3 men. The spots were too far in between and so much room to wiggle.
Upshaw on the keeper will get 9. A.J. Gray angled him out of bounds, along with Step Durham, Jen.
Yeah, Wes, we talked about both of these quarterbacks doing a lot of running for their team. And Fabian Upshaw, one of the fastest guys on this Georgia Southern team. I was talking to running back Matt Breida this week, and he told me it's really the two of them, 1-2. And he admitted Fabian got him a sub 4.3 40 last time they were timed.
Wow. 21 yards on 3 carries for Upshaw. Shotgun set on 2nd and short. Going to take the throw and looking for B.J. Johnson. And he was defended on the backside by the junior Durham, who is the cousin, by the way, James, of Leroy Butler.
I thought you were going to say of you.
No.
Look at him run. A good job. Just stride for stride. And a nice effort by both guys to reach out there.
So now 3rd and 1. Breida the carry. And a first down for Georgia Southern at the 49. Patrick Gamble was the first of the white helmets to get there for Georgia Tech. Well, Tyson Summers' team coming into the ball game, number 6 nationally, first in the Sun Belt, nearly 287 yards a game. That's more than Georgia Tech. Jackets are only 3rd in the ACC. Just outside the nation's top 25.
Big pickup there on 3rd and short.
Breida chopped down by A.J. Gray in the backfield. Well, the sophomore from Sandersville and Washington County High School in Georgia, boy, they're excited in Atlanta about A.J. Gray. That's a loss of 2.
I was looking at my notes from last year when we had Georgia Tech, and Ted Roof said then, A.J. Gray, just a freshman at the time, he said he may not be the most fluid in everything he does out there, but when he hits you, you go down. And that time he took the runner down, but first he had to take the blocker down, ran right through them all.
Upshaw looking to throw again, scrambles away from the pocket. He'll keep it now, work to the near side, and knocked out of bounds, and that's Corey Griffin. And he'll be shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and about 3 maybe for the Eagles.
Well, we talked about angles with Georgia Southern on defense, and here's Griffin showing you how it's done. Nice proper angle, using that sideline as your friend to run him out of bounds. And now here's another 3rd and short. They need 3 this time, though.
Wesley Fields has come in. Sophomore from Americus, Georgia, in the backfield with Upshaw. Fields will get the call and the first down inside the 40 to near the 38-yard line. And Fields lost his helmet as Georgia Southern goes to 3 of 4 on 3rd down.
And there's the big guy that leads the charge in the middle. They go right behind their center here, Andy Kwan. And the big nasty guy doing a good job. You use that defensive lineman's momentum. He's going the way you want him anyway. Just ride him on out of there. And 2 big 3rd down pickups for a team that just like that was down 14-0, trying to find some way to get some points on the board here to answer now.
Juggled snap. Here's Upshaw trying to get to the near side. Got it blocked. And finally, Brentavious Glenn, the redshirt freshman from Albany, was able to track down Fabian Upshaw. Georgia Southern's found some stuff in a gun look here, James, running the ball.
You know how sometimes you bobble a punt on a punt return and it just gives those blocks an extra beat to set up? It's almost what happened right there, but a great job by Upshaw to bring his eyes after they secured the football right down to the field. And nice vision to find that gap and scoot forward for a first down.
11th play of the drive. L.A. Ramsby's coming the backfield now with Upshaw. Looking to throw, flushed out of there. Ramsby went out of bounds of his own volition. It was short and incomplete anyway. And Corey Griffin had picked up L.A. Ramsby. Tyson Summers, who's lost his father at an early age. He was a fine high school coach in the Tifton area. Told us this week his dad's coaching staff essentially raised him, and that introduced him to the Georgia Southern program as a child.
Well, that staff, right before he got to high school, that staff left.
Yeah.
And then the new staff that came in when he was a high school athlete, they were all Georgia Southern guys. And he said, since 14, I've known GATA.
Breida out of the backfield. Taken down outside the 10. Corey Griffin makes the play, but it's enough for a first down for the Eagles. And now Paul Johnson knows those guys in the navy blue jerseys showing their resiliency.
Well, and this is their workhorse right here. Nice little screen set up. And watch Curtis Rainey out there leading the way. Another good open field tackle by Griffin, but the damage is done. And this has been an impressive drive after a very slow start for this Eagle bunch.
Second possession for Georgia Southern. We're under 6 minutes to play. First period. Breida trying to find some running room. And does. Close to a first down, almost 8 full yards before Lawrence Austin and Brant Mitchell make the stop for Ted Roof's defense.
Roof back up in the booth, and here's trying to go quick on it.
Breida, he'll have it 1st and goal. Mitchell the stop for the Yellow Jackets.
Wes, you mentioned it earlier. It was all kinds of ugly in 2014, the only meeting before this one with these two teams. And Georgia Southern, they're not going to fold the tent, and we're seeing it here again. Down 14 and come fighting back.
Here's Jeff Heiser, the referee.
Eagle substitution. Defense, 12 men on the field. That penalty's declined. Results of the play, first down.
So it's 1st and goal. And the 15th play of the drive coming up now for Georgia Southern.
Remember my forward key at the top for Georgia Southern? Finish. And this is part of it right here. They had 5 turnovers that they forced against Arkansas State last time out. They got 3 points total off of all those turnovers. They got down in the red zone a few times and they could not finish. They have got to put it together. They need a touchdown right here.
That's Alexander, a backup tight end in motion. And here is Ramsby going to work, and Rook Chungong crashed in from his defensive end spot to make the play. Loss of a yard, James, back toward the 4.
And again, the penetration we've seen here throughout this drive of Georgia Southern's offensive front, able to kind of run those bodies past and use their momentum against them. But when you can't get a hand on them and they're in the backfield, it shuts it all down.
Here's Upshaw, wants to throw, batted down. And that's Keyshawn Freeman. So now it's 3rd and goal.
Great job by Freeman. He sees exactly, see him stutter step. He's not going to get to the quarterback, get up and try to get in the way and bat it down.
Georgia Tech makes some changes. You see where Georgia Tech is.
That's
Number 2 in
CPI.
the ACC and 6th nationally in the CPI security red zone. That's Campbell in motion. They'll throw it to him. And he's knocked back on 3rd and goal. A.J. Gray led the charge. I think Miles Campbell thought he was just going to step in easily, James.
Well, I think he tried to get too fancy. He's a mighty, just 5'6". Yeah, he's not the biggest guy, but no matter who you are, if you make up your mind you're going to get over that goal line right now rather than trying to come back inside, he's going to beat him to the corner right here. He tries to get too pretty. You can't get pretty on the goal line. There's nothing prettier for a defensive guy than to see a lick like that to keep him out.
Ramsby just off the back hip of Upshaw. Ramsby scores. Tyson Summers' team went all the way to the wire to answer. 18 plays to put the Eagles on the board.
It's an offensive line that has had some struggles here. They try to go with the water bucket, and not everybody's set, so they'll blow the whistles. But some young guys, they lost 2 really good guards. They've had to stick some guys in there. And I do believe that Alan Mogridge, the offensive line coach, has a freshman starting there at that right tackle spot. And it was an impressive performance by that offensive line on that drive. A very gutsy performance by the front 5.
They converted 3 of 4 third downs along the way. And then cashed in on 4th and goal. Younghoe Koo, the place kicker. He's been perfect on the year in field goals. And now bangs home his 12th extra point. Little Al into the end zone. Touchdown lead for Georgia Tech, but boy, Tyson Summers in Georgia Southern with a nice answer here, James.
And you got to have it, and he goes behind his true freshman getting his first start. Just found out right before the game. He does a fantastic job on Chase Alford to seal that corner, the edge right there. And there he is. There's a big man right there.
Drew Wilson. How about that look, huh?
Yeah, man, that is a good look.
6'4", 300-pounder from Bamberg, South Carolina.
That's some confidence in your freshman, and even better look for Eagle fans is the fact that they got a touchdown after that 14-0 drop.
No chance for Green on the return. Georgia Tech will scrimmage from its 25. Well, week 7 in the ACC underway last night. Oh, a little tight fit. Ooh, Breon Borders. Ooh, roughed Ethan O'Hara. Louisville got a second chance. Jackson scores. Cards win by 10 over the Blue Devils. Clemson, NC State, James, today. Ooh.
Love to be there.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. The Tigers, Wolfpack in a tight fit. And there is upheaval in the Coastal Division again, James.
What else is new? Oh, I feel bad for Breon Borders. He's just such a hustler, such an aggressive guy.
Marcus Marshall in the ball game. Here's Justin Thomas, fakes the pitch and got tracked down. Brought down by Vegas Harley, playing that box safety. And a quick check of the Week 7 board in the Atlantic Coast Conference. 7-all with Pitt and Virginia. Clemson 3, State 0. Second period of Frank Howard Field. You see the afternoon starts. 3 conference games on the slate today.
Well, again, even Virginia Tech going up to New York to take on Syracuse. That's not a gimme. Always tough to play up there in the Carrier Dome. I don't care how good you are. Many teams have found out over the years.
Thomas trying to make an adjustment. Ironhead Gallen right there to meet him. And Harley, the safety, is trying to force the wedge here, James, a little bit, huh?
Man, Vegas Harley, he's bad to the bone. And see this, watch this. Oh, my goodness, that's pretty. That, you know, Gallen, the poor guy's a senior linebacker, so much pride in that spot, and he took the wrong angle on that initial play. But did you see him avoid the cut, keep his feet, stay square, and go make the tackle with his buddy Harley, putting him in the vise? That's the way that you usually see number 27 play, and number 10 has been very active too.
First third down of the day for Georgia Tech, and Thomas wants to throw. Justin going to rip it for June. Caught out at the 42 and a first down. Ahead of Jones, the corner, goes Ricky June, who starts today for an 18th straight time.
Well, here's the receiver ISO, and June, who's been so special, going to find his little window in the zone. And you know what? The offensive line that you didn't see right there, they're the ones that gave the opportunity to move those chains, a luxury that Georgia Southern hasn't had so far in this game, all the time that Justin Thomas and Ricky June needed.
Here's Thomas again. He'll keep for maybe 3 out to the 45. As we approach 2 minutes to play in this first period. Gallen, the lead tackler again. There's a look at the big nose, Ellison, 310-pound senior from Hamilton, Georgia, and he works alongside Darius Sapp. And Sapp's a 300 and change from Valdosta. Second down. Counter option for Thomas. Now he'll pitch, and here is Marshall. Down the near sideline, Marcus Marshall inside the 10. Banged out of bounds by Liptrot. Thomas is fun to watch in this, James.
He is. And he's got such a knack for it. And here's the read. You know, the reads, all the reads that you hear about, well, it's a read on the pitch as well, of course. There's one guy. Who's he going to take? Is he going to take the pitch man, or is he going to take the quarterback right here? Again, great job blocking on the perimeter. And when you have success in the throw game, you've got those cornerbacks, you've got that secondary on their heels. And you've got the battle won on the edge, and winning the blocking battles too now, the Jackets.
That's Lynch in motion. They're going to straight ahead. Mills, the freshman. 8th rushing score of the year for the freshman Dedrick Mills out of Ware County. Six plays, 75 yards, in just better than 3 minutes for Paul Johnson's team. And the point after by Bucker is good.
2 years ago, Justin Thomas, he had what seems so far in this year a lot more pieces around him to make this thing go. The pieces are so important. Yeah, you've got to have a quarterback that is lights out, that understands this, you know, can run this show. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but when they can do it and they have the pieces around them, it's so scary. We've seen so far in this game, we've seen all of those pieces. Yeah. We've seen Lynch. We've seen Ricky June. We've seen guys like Dedrick Mills, Quay Searcy blocking out there, Marcus Marshall as well, and an offensive line that it's done its job so far. They have to be happy here with 1 quarter in the books.
153 yards of total offense so far for Justin Thomas, rushing and passing, and Paul Johnson's team hadn't missed their turn yet. 3 possessions, 3 scores for the 9th-year head coach of the Jackets. We saw Georgia Southern answer after they fell behind 2 scores. And now they'll get a chance here. This is Crockett on the kick return. 15-yard line for Crockett, and it runs into his own guy shy of the 20. And tell you what, if you've stepped away, there have been 5 possessions, 4 touchdowns. And Justin Thomas set sail on the 3rd snap of the game.
Yeah, 72-second drive. And number 5 taking it to the house.
Then over the top to Clinton Lynch.
Well, a little bust in coverage. Not a little, a great big bust. And number 22, nice easy touchdown, pitch and catch. But Georgia Southern right back at it. Very impressive drive. They went 3 of 4 on 3rd down to answer. And you just saw Dedrick Mills, the freshman from Waycross, punch it in. So here as we near the end of the first quarter, can Georgia Southern answer it one more time now?
Off the 19. Go the Eagles. Upshaw out of the backfield. Wesley Fields, the bowl MVP of the GoDaddy game a year ago, makes the catch. Jen.
Well, Wes, wanted to share a great moment over on the Georgia Southern sideline after that last scoring drive for their offense. Offensive line coach Alan Mogridge got his offensive lineman around him. He said, look me in the eye. This ain't about them. It's about us. This is what we do. This is how we play Georgia Southern football. Pretty strong message. We'll see if that offense can respond again.
Fields got pushed back there. It'll be third down. Jen, I got to tell you, Mogridge has overcome a lot of things in this world. Really talented player in the ACC. Carolina's coached a lot of plays. But the biggest accomplishment Mogridge has made is being able to survive playing high school ball with James Bates.
That's right, Smoky Bears, baby.
Timeout. 15 minutes in the books on an overcast day in Midtown Atlanta. Second meeting all time with the Ramblin' Wreck and them fellows from down at Eagle Creek. 2-touchdown advantage. Back after this.
At the
Game summary after 15 minutes, and Georgia Tech's 216 yards so far. 125 on the ground, 91 passing, James, and Justin Thomas showing that that is a very viable weapon in his arsenal so far this year.
Well, it really always has been, but when you're 80-20, when you hang your hat on running the football, you don't get to see it as much. We're seeing when he gets a little bit of time what he can do. Time of possession down there belonging to the Eagles because of that 6-minute 51-second scoring drive last time.
Third down for Upshaw. Fields out of the backfield. First down. Step through the tackle of Corey Griffin. To the 33 goes Wesley Fields. He had 12 carries for 27 yards in the loss at Arkansas State, did the sophomore Fields. So now Southern is 4 of 6 on third down. And Upshaw's hit half his passes. A little pitch in the option game. Here goes Fields. Best run of the day, and a flag thrown from center field as A.J. Gray made the hit for Georgia Tech. And the back judge.
Holding. Offense, number 12. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's on the ex-receiver, B.J. Johnson, the third. Redshirt senior from Woodruff, South Carolina, who's got 65 career catches and better than 1,000 yards entering play today. Second penalty on the Eagles.
Well, you hear it ad nauseum anytime you see Georgia Tech play. Georgia Southern fans as well. You can't get behind those chains. And you've seen it so far in this game when you look at Georgia Southern. Everything has been earned, every single yard. And now, instead of a nice play on first down, you got 1st and 20.
Upshaw to throw. And falling down, making the catch is Miles Campbell. Just at the 31-yard line. So they got about 6 of it back, 2nd and 12.
Every football team needs a number 6, a Miles Campbell, 5'6", 170 pounds, a junior, and just a mighty. He's a playmaker, had the 63-yard touchdown catch against Arkansas State. Longest reception of the year for the Eagles.
Here goes Upshaw. Runs the edge, got a shake at the corner on Gray, and was able to kind of move it toward the 35. Chase Alford, who's playing at linebacker today, as part of the combination replacing P.J. Davis, who got injured in the second half at Pittsburgh last week and is being held out today.
Yeah, what a bummer. Not only for this team, but P.J. Davis personally. This is where you want to add on to those tackles. He's got 34 tackles on the season, leading the team, but unable to dress.
Third and long for Southern. 4 receivers now for Upshaw. Bailing from the pocket. Going to throw and underthrows his intended receiver, and that was Keegan Williams. He was looking for across the way. Gray was in coverage, but Georgia Tech made it uncomfortable for Upshaw.
Yeah, when they put him on the run and given him a little bit more time, he's had some success. But right here, as soon as he gets that ball in his hands with the blitz drawn up, he's already on the fly. And really, if you're going to throw that one out there, you better throw it out of bounds, because they're lucky A.J. Gray didn't come up with it. Instead, they'll punt it away.
Brad Stewart averages 15 yards, but he's only had 7 returns this year. And the punt by Flynn, and Stewart will field it on the fly at the 38. So Paul Johnson's team will get it back. Pretty good place to start a drive from for Georgia Tech. And we'll take a break. Second quarter continues just outside the gates. The big whistle looks on here today in Atlanta. Brought to you by the official corporate champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference, Geico, New York Life, and Bojangles. James, it's a student-run organization on campus, the Ramblin' Wreck Club, and they're in charge of the caretaking and curating of the Model A Ford that leads the Jackets onto the field at Grant Field. And you know what? If you stay in the club long enough, you put some elbow grease in it, get your hours in, you might be able to drive.
Well, there was only one dude getting elbow grease in right there. The rest of them are standing around watching.
First down give is to Mills, and he will crash to the 40 and pick up 2. You say it was a full-blown DOT project?
I'm saying, if you want to come wash this fine car, you better get out of those flip-flops and put on some work boots, young man. Right?
Maybe if we were able to come back to Atlanta again this year to do a game, we'll get you down around the Ramblin' Wreck Club and let you show them how to.
I'd love to. I hear the horn going
here
through.
You go. You want to drive, right? Yeah, you want to run the horn. I've heard that.
Yeah.
They want to drive the Ramblin' Wreck.
Yes.
2nd and 8. Mills on another dive out of the option. Darius Sapp. There's big number 90. Look at number 90 for Georgia Southern. Darius Sapp. Ted Roos said yesterday, these two guys playing inside. Paul Johnson told us they could play anywhere, James, with their size.
Oh, yeah. The two big defensive tackles are as big as you'll see throughout the ACC, throughout college football.
Yep. Ted Roof's a defensive coach. He knows how big Sapp is, 6'1", 330 out of Valdosta.
And he knows how big that can be to a defense, to be able to eat up bodies there in the middle. Well, you can't find enough of those guys.
3rd down, here's the toss. Turning the corner is Green, and he's going to be just short. But Georgia Tech 7 of 13 on 4th down this year. So don't be surprised if Paul Johnson puts the offense on the field, and he is. He's going to send Isaiah Willis out with the play.
Fine job here by that defense to get over. There's Gallen one more time. And they've done a good job on the perimeter since that great big run for the most part of getting off of those blocks. Well, 4th down and 1 all over again.
You see the numbers on the year.
It's hard for 90 to get back in a stance after they get that body moving.
Play clock down to 3. And a timeout taken by Paul Johnson.
Boy.
And a veteran head coach who strives for perfection on that type stuff.
You know, when on the highway, watch the big man here. Oh, well, it was a little bit late there on the replay, but sometimes when you get here he comes. Get a big semi on the highway going, and it's tough to stop, and they need that hill. I'm surprised he was able to stop himself and get back over and get in the stance. Almost a free first down for Georgia Tech.
And after the timeout, Tyson Summers is over there checking on the former Georgia Southern head coach, saying, you know what, I know what the history is of this guy. He'll put the offense back out there again after he calls the timeout. And for a 14th time this year, Georgia Tech's going to line up like they're going for it. You see, that's Mills, the B-back. Lynch and Willis are the A-backs. And that's Thomas. And he will have the first down. He got to the 49-yard line.
Well, if they mark it with the guy up top, it's going to really be close. This is going to be close, Wes.
Yeah, Sapp and Jonathan Battle were there. If he broke the 48, he's got it, right, James?
And it
based
looks
on
like
the chain across the field, right?
Yeah. Right. The way the line judge came running in.
Tyson Summers not happy with the spot. We had a good time yesterday visiting with Paul Johnson. You got him talking about his history at Georgia Southern and Irk Russell and the origination of some of the great traditions they've got in Statesboro. You see the first down.
Wes, I could have sat there all day long and listened to those stories about Irk Russell. Oh, my goodness. And Coach Johnson got rolling for us.
Yep.
You know, and Jen mentioned Alan Mobridge, the offensive line coach, earlier in the broadcast. And, you know, a friend of mine called him earlier this week, and he opened my eyes to a lot of those great stories. And so we went out hunting for him yesterday.
Yep. Base formation for 1st and 10. Thomas coming on the option. Pitched it, fumbled it. He'll get back on it. Oh, my goodness. Elegwe almost came away with the gift. Hit him right in the hands.
Right in the hands. Watch 7 here. Elegwe does a good job of avoiding. I mean, just shoving the blocker, would-be blocker, Isaiah Willis, right out of the way. And, oh, my goodness, he'll never get another gift like that. Justin Thomas and company, they've done a fine job of keeping the football off of the ground in this offense this year and dodging a big-time bullet on that one.
Loss of 6 for Georgia Tech. Thomas drops back. Now Bales going to look to throw, rips it toward June, but incomplete. Freeman was there in coverage for Southern.
You know, maybe not the hands to pull in that ball on the last play, Eligwe, but it was his hands that really disrupted this play by getting a good shuck on the receiver as he tried to release there from inside and threw him off his route, and he wasn't there when Thomas came popping up looking for him. A nice job. Won't show up in the stat book, but that's a big play by number 7.
Georgia Southern, number 9 in the country on 3rd down defensively. Thomas sets. He's going to take the shot, looking for Searcy. And he got knocked out of bounds. There's no flag on the play. Coverage by Liptrot on that backside for Georgia Southern.
Boy, the redshirt freshman, Jesse Liptrot, looked to be out of position to begin with, hustles over to get there, and he does an excellent job. Run him right into that boundary. Just a redshirt freshman from Fletcher High School down in Jacksonville. And as a receiver, Wes, you gotta run that route with some padding. You can't run that route right on the sidelines. You got to give your quarterback some wiggle room over there. And that's a big-time stop by this Georgia Southern defense after going down by 14 once again.
Rod Rodwell to punt. You get a look at Monte Crockett, averaging just under 7 yards a return, which is good enough to be 2nd in the Sun Belt.
If you like Crockett, you should see Tubbs.
Rodwell hangs it high. Crockett will signal for it and make the fair catch at the 23-yard line. So we've kind of settled in after some early flurries. Each team has now punted on their last 2 possessions.
Freedom.
Who you looking at, Bird? Back to Atlanta after this.
That's it.
Thursdays at 5:30 Eastern around most of the country for ACC All Access. And this week's show, James Bates visits with North Carolina's Ryan Switzer.
Oh, yeah. Talk
about football and romantic comedies. Olivia Harlan hosts ACC All Access, and here's Breida on 1st down, breaking out to the 39. 15-yard run from Matt Breida on 1st down before Corey Griffin made the stop.
Showing you the toughness of the senior leader, 36. Good job again up front running these guys past by the offensive line. Quick on the snap there. Can't show it all to you. And one more time, Upshaw tucking it and going. And just moments ago, Jen said to us, hey, guys, keep an eye on Breida. He really looked like he was banged up as he went over to the sideline after that last series. Well, he toughened through it. 36 on the first play, and then Upshaw, a nice gainer on 1st down.
4 wide for the Eagles. 2nd down and short. And Breida the call again. And it'll be 3rd down as he got tripped up. Brentavious Glenn, the redshirt freshman. Big number 97, but there's a look at Matt Breida. 2 times all Sun Belt. Almost, James, 3,400 yards and 35 touchdowns rushing in his Eagle career coming in.
Yeah, and they have got to get him going. They've got a lot of guys that can run the ball. We've seen Fields, we've seen Ramsby in there as well. 5 Eagles that are averaging over 50 yards rushing, but he's the workhorse.
Upshaw to throw under duress. Victor Alexander had him. And now he escapes, wants to take the deep shot, looking downfield, and it's incomplete. The flag is thrown on a ball intended for Malik Henry. Pass interference on Georgia Tech.
Defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Victor Alexander had Fabian Upshaw dead to rights in the backfield, couldn't get him to the ground.
3rd down has been great for this offense, and you got him stopped. Roof draws up the blitz, it's right, but you got to drop him. You got to finish, and then launching it up there. A good job by the secondary with all that was going on in the backfield to hang on, but a little bit too good as the flag comes in as Malik Henry goes after it and a fresh set of downs after a wild third down, but third down and the success that this offense has had on third downs is the reason the Eagles are still in this football game and driving once again.
Penalty keeps the drive alive. Upshaw, and we're going to get procedure. And I believe it was Jeremiah Culbreth, the left tackle.
First
Me?
down.
Yeah. Jeremiah pointing to the pads. Me?
Can't do it. And you know, yeah, we've talked about these offenses, but momentum, what a killer. I mean, here you've got it. There are a lot of Georgia Southern fans here in the house. They were making some noise after that play. We'll see if he moves. He is early. Yes, but, you know, momentum. So you got things going. You got them on their heels. Then you go backwards 5 yards, and he just crushes momentum.
Here's Upshaw. Wants to throw. Tries to cut it back across the field. And he'll get snowed under inside the 45. Antonio Simmons, who James talked about earlier, and now Fabian Upshaw slow to his feet.
You know, Upshaw has been banged up with the hip.
Yep.
He's had a hip injury, and that's why Jen mentioned right off the top that he only played two snaps against Arkansas State. And Kevin Ellison, who played, you know, they've switched up throughout the year. He's banged up too. He's got the left elbow injury. He was able to play through that injury against Arkansas State.
Well, they'll tend to Fabian Upshaw, and the Eagles may employ Kevin Ellison when we come back to Atlanta.
Got up and off the field at the break, and, you know, coming in with a bad hip. There's one bang, a knee to the back, and then look at this. Watch this angle here at such an awkward angle that his body's already positioned at, and then you get a great big defensive guy landing on you. Oh, just what he didn't need, and trying to make something out of nothing there. And boy, he's been such a fighter here early on. Now it's down to Ellison.
And here is Fields trying to make up the lost ground on second down. Keyshawn Freeman the stop. Well, Fabian Upshaw leaves the game with 93 yards of offense, including a touchdown. Led him on the touchdown drive that Ramsby finished with.
They are working on that hip.
Yep. And here's the redshirt senior from Habersham Central High School in Cornelia, Georgia, Kevin Ellison, who was the starter here 2 years ago, James. Third and long. And Fields will get the call. And boy, he snuck through and may have the first down. Looked like Georgia Tech had him wrapped up, and Fields' balance kept him going, and just inside the 30 might be short, and decision time maybe for Tyson Summers. Oh, they're going for it. Fourth down. Ellison going to keep it. I don't think he got it. It's going to depend on the spot.
It's going to be close.
Yes,
really
it is.
close.
Tyson Summers says he has it. And now they will stop play with 6.5 minutes to go. Mitchell, Alford, and Griffin all collapsed on Ellison.
You know, they'll bring the chains in here as they back up the teams to make some room. But, you know, the thing that's got me shrugging my shoulders is the third down run. I mean, you almost let them go for it now. And without this one, they're already 4 of 8, 50%. They'll convert here on fourth down. And here you go. Here's back to the third down. And a great job of just getting after them up front, that offensive line. And a little bit of a stumble on the read. So 5 of 9 on third downs. Georgia Southern, and that'll drive you crazy on defense.
Little counter, Breida bounced off one and then hit Griffin about the 24. Corey Griffin came in, tied for the tackle lead with Georgia Tech's P.J. Davis, who we told you earlier is not playing today. Boy, Griffin's getting some work at safety.
And again, and look at these guys up front. Look at these battles being won right now by the blue jerseys up front. That wasn't the case early on. We saw down after down, it was penetration, and now you've got Breida fighting behind him. And a back like that will really amp up and motivate an offensive line. You see it working right now.
Here goes Ellison now. He'll try and stretch it outside. Brought down just inside the 21. Corey Griffin and Lawrence Austin on the stop.
Well, and now you're getting to where you're hearing those names a little bit too much. I mean, you want to hear names like Mitchell and Alford. You want to hear names like Rook Chungong again on the inside, holding their own, getting off those blocks, going and making a play.
3rd and short. Fields in the backfield with Ellison. That's Campbell in motion. Here comes the option now. Ellison will pitch. Fields has the first down. At the 17 goes Wesley Fields. A.J. Gray in run support. Knocked him out. And all of a sudden, the Eagles, James, starting to build momentum in sequence.
And this is, you know, it doesn't surprise that gentleman right there one bit. I'll guarantee you that. And it shouldn't surprise anybody that knows anything about Georgia Southern football. They're not going to quit. They're going to come out with some toughness and some scrap. Their starting quarterback is down. Ellison, a 1B quarterback here in this one, not necessarily a backup, but they just keep on clicking.
Fields trying to get to the outside, backtracked a little bit, and still slides for a yard or two. Alford finally made the play over the top, along with Griffin. Tyson Summers wants his group to get on the line and go. They've had some success with some tempo here in the first half.
Well,
let's call it a gain of 1. Ellison, a second-team Sun Belt choice a year ago, in relief of Upshaw, who was shaken up a moment ago. He'll keep it. And in trouble, and A.J. Gray. Big-time play for the Jackets back at the 18. 5th tackle for a loss in this first half by Georgia Tech.
And it's an athletic ability for a defender like this. 15. Look at him. You know, open field tackle, plays like that shows you why he was the 2014 Gatorade Player of the Year, All-American in high school down in Sandersville, Georgia, where my man Takeo Spikes is from. They must play some great defense.
Ooh.
All those kids coming out of there.
A lot of good players out of Washington County. L.A. Ramsby's coming in the backfield with Ellison. Ackerman, the tight end. 3 receivers here for Kevin Ellison. That's Campbell in motion. Here goes Ellison. Trying to get to the outside, and Griffin pulls him down. Back at the 22. And now Younghoe Koo, who's perfect on the year, will try the field goal.
And a nice job, not only by Griffin, but also by Gray here to get that outside leverage, giving him nowhere to run and forcing him back into the extra defense, or the vice angles, again for this defense.
Right at 39 yards. The kick is away, and it is good. Younghoe Koo is now perfect on the year, 10 for 10. And a marker on the play here from over in front of the Georgia Tech bench.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Retry. For a field goal. 4th down.
Points come off the board on the penalty. Oh, and Tyson Summers knows that's one of the taboos in coaching, isn't it, James?
You're fighting and scrapping for every single yard, let alone points. And top right is where you saw it. It was just a hair too early. It wasn't like the one earlier by Culbreth.
So now 44 yards for Koo, whose longest 53 a week ago Wednesday at Arkansas State. This one on the way. And it is good.
Wow.
So a 44-yard field goal. 5-yard procedure call, no effect on Koo. 2:13 to play in this first half.
5-yard penalty, shoot, it's cool in the game.
To buy Wix Filters. Go to WixFilters.com to find a local distributor near you. James, one time I'm going to take you down here. Underneath the west stands, the original Grant Field bleachers. Oh. Built by the students and shy of the 1913 anniversary of the facility. Take you down there one day and let you see if we can find the 44 seat. Bass will kick it toward Green through the end zone. Georgia Tech will scrimmage off its 25. Well, Georgia Southern just capped a 14-play drive. And our Ally Bank do it right. Matt Breida got him started with a big run. It ultimately ended in a field goal.
On a drive that saw the quarterbacks, Upshaw go down, Ellison come in, and Koo hit it 2 times.
44 was good. Georgia Southern's had 32 plays, totaling more than 14 minutes and 10 points. Here's Thomas. Little play fake. Going to shoot it here for Lynch. First down for Clinton Lynch. Boys become a playmaker for the Jackets. Bowdry made the hit on Clinton Lynch, who's slow to his feet at the Georgia Tech bench. Took a big lick from Bowdry at the 41.
Can't afford to lose 22. He's starting to make tons of big plays, but right back over the ball, JT and company.
Here comes Thomas. He'll pitch, and this is Searcy. And he'll scramble out of bounds near the 45. Quay Searcy was injured last year, James. Remember, we saw Alcorn State Tulane. He got hurt the next week at Notre Dame, was lost for the year, and it really hurt their run game.
Well, and Searcy is really good in the pass game as well. Very good hands, like we've seen Clinton Lynch go out and catch a few passes already in this one. They lean on number 1 quite a bit as well, but they've got some talent back there and a couple outstanding sophomores.
Thomas looking to the Georgia Tech bench to get the call from his head coach. And here's the toss, and this is J.J. Green. And he'll run right into Elegwe.
Green with the carry.
And it will be 3rd down and 6. And now a timeout called by Georgia Tech with 1:45 to go.
Marcus Elegwe, I've been impressed with the junior outside linebacker.
Yep, transferred to Florida State.
Yep, long, and he gets out there in space, and it's those long limbs, sometimes they can work against you. Sometimes you see those little guys, they get out in space, and they get easier coming under control, but he does it good for a big man.
Yep. Well, we'll take our show to Charlottesville, Virginia next Saturday. 3 o'clock start, Scott Stadium for one of the South's oldest rivalries. Cavaliers and Tar Heels. Hard-hitting Virginia, hosting Pittsburgh today. Carolina's at Miami. Think we might see a pass or two between Binkert and Trubisky?
I think we might see a great game.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get up there.
We'll join you at 3 o'clock. James Chen and I will from Scott Stadium. Some great names in that series history for both schools. Look forward to being in Charlottesville. We'll see you at 3 o'clock. Georgia Tech now, 3rd down and 5. Thomas looking to throw here. Winds and hits June. First down at the 42 and out of bounds. Liptrot and Jones were over there, but boy, Justin Thomas just zipped that right in.
Well, and Liptrot on the fly from his corner position trying to get underneath that throw, and that's when you've got a run-pass option, you've got to respect number 5 with the ball tucked away so much. And it was just a single-man route.
Dive play, here's Mills. Taken down just inside the 30. It'll be first down, but Jen standing by with a guy that's caught a pass or 2 on this field.
Yeah, just a couple. You knew we had to get Calvin Johnson in here, inducted into the Georgia Tech Athletics Hall of Fame last night. Congratulations. How excited was that for you?
That was great. To come back down here brings back a lot of memories from the Flats.
I know he's getting a lot of fans cheering for him. He's trying to keep an eye on the field out there, too. But tell me about life after football for you, what it's been like here in the last few months.
It's been very busy this year, man. I got married earlier this year. Then I had a nice little honeymoon. Then I went straight into doing some foundation stuff. And now, when I thought would be my downtime, I'm dancing now. So that's keeping me real busy right now.
I was going to have to ask you about that. Staying alive on that, too, huh? You having some fun?
I'm having a great time. It's a great experience. Never would have thought it would have been like it is. And I'm definitely happy I took advantage of the opportunity to be on it.
Well, I know you're going to be honored out there at halftime. I'm going to let you enjoy that. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Wes?
All right. Thank you, big man. James, I'm not going to lie. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. I love to hear your stories about him. I love seeing that Detroit, Michigan shirt on him, too. It's unheard of for a guy like that to play his whole career at one spot. And, well, after his great career here, there with the Lions.
Yep. Pound for pound, in my mind, the greatest player in Tech history. Thomas squeezing through after a throw to June, and he got bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Elegwe again. James, why has Georgia Tech been so good throwing the ball here against the Eagles in this drive?
Because Justin Thomas is a thrower. He can throw the football. He's got an outstanding arm, and they've just put him in a position where they've bought him some time on the roll. They keep everybody into block in a one-man, one-receiver route.
He's going to look here. 6 of 8 so far today, and overthrows June with lip drop behind him at the pylon.
You know, and one thing, when Jen was talking to Calvin, maybe one of the more impressive plays of the day, Justin Thomas had the big 330-pounder at his feet. Here's one more look at that one, a little bit too high. You know, he'd like to have that one back because that one he had his guy, and it could have been a touchdown. But he was able to avoid, keep his feet clean and keep his, I mean, that's scary. I was holding my breath, thought maybe he'd kind of roll into him, but did a great job of completing that pass and moving the chains on that play as well.
Stewart and June, the receivers. Thomas overthrows June. He's now 6 of 10 in this first half. And on 4th down, Harrison Butker will come on.
Well, and Coach wanted them to go elsewhere, it looked like on that one. High praise for him yesterday, and he's looked pretty good so far today, but it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
Butker 4 of 4 on the year. He's hit 41 yards twice. This will be 32 on the near hash. Out of Rodwell's hold. The kick is no good. He pulled it left. So a missed field goal by Butker. 60 yards, 11 plays, and nothing for the Jackets on the 32-yarder.
And everything looked pretty clean.
They just tugged it.
So 15 seconds now before halftime, but remember, Georgia Southern winning the coin toss, deferred. I'm sure at the time they wanted that one back because 72 seconds later, it was to the house with Justin Thomas.
Right.
But now, with just an 11-point deficit, and it could be a whole lot more, they will get the ball to open up the second half.
Well, and here's the thing too, James. Georgia Tech, after 3 scores in their first 3 possessions, scoreless in their last 2 now that Butker misses. And Tyson Summers' team is 11 down. So they're, rather than being 2 full possessions down, now just 11 is Ellison wants to throw it here on first down and overthrows Monte Crockett, his senior wide receiver.
And I guess when you got a kicker like Koo, you know, hey, we got 15 seconds left. Let's try to get it down there, get it on the other side of the field and give them a chance. But that's definitely not playing like a team that's just trying to hang around. That's, you know, you like the aggression, but you got to be careful. You can't throw it away and give up an easy one right before half when you played so hard.
And they're just going to touch a knee, and the Eagles will go to the locker room here. So the last 2 series for Georgia Tech offensively will be disappointing. And the Jackets will take an 11-point lead to the locker room. Tyson Summers' team was able to get a touchdown and a field goal in 32 offensive snaps. Let's check in with Jen.
Your team scoring on your first 3 drives, coming up empty the last couple. What were you doing well early you might want to get back to?
Well, we moved the ball the last one. We just missed the field goal, ran out of time. We had 1 bad series on offense. We got to do a better job getting them off the field.
Defensively, you know Georgia Southern will keep coming. What's important for your defense?
Well, we got to tackle better for one, and we got to try to convert some 3rd downs on defense and get them off the field.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks to Paul Johnson. Stay tuned. Hardy's halftime report next. CC football is second half at Grant Field. And there's a look at the 1990 National Championship. And, of course, it's 1 of 4 won by the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. And Jen standing by with Georgia Southern head coach Tyson Summers.
Well, Coach, I think the first question has to be with your quarterbacks. How's Fabian Upshaw right now?
We'll be back ready to go start second half here. Again, I thought we did a nice job defensive. First 2 series didn't go the way we want them to. Fought back 5 or 6 series there at the end. Offense is moving the ball the way we want them to, and we got to be able to make sure we turn it into points, start fast here in the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Tyson Summers, in his first season, worked with Mike Bobo at Colorado State a year ago. 3 years with George O'Leary. Neil Callaway at UAB. Had a year with Brian Van Gorder in Statesboro. Mark Rick, Larry Blakeney, Tommy Spangler. Played for Darrell Dickey at Presbyterian. Did Tyson Summers. Got a nice coaching resume to become the Eagles head coach. And how about our works carrying the load? The Jacket defense had some plays behind the line in the opening half.
Well, Rod Rukchung-Gong, and then those safeties. Man, there he is right on the spot. A.J. Gray, the sophomore. He's got 5 tackles, 2 for loss. And then Griffin, 8 tackles and 1 for loss. There's Rukchung-Gong again. And they need to get out here and shut this offense down. Don't let them drive it down the field. Go marching right down the field. Great to see Upshaw back out there, who gave them fits in the first half, especially on third downs.
You see the 93 yards of total offense, James.
They've got to get off of the field on third down, though. That is the key for this second half of this defense.
They'll hand it to Breida on first down. Brant Mitchell from Knoxville, sophomore at linebacker, wraps him right up. Fabian Upshaw shaken up on the drive that ultimately ended in the Younghoe Koo field goal. Left what looked like he had re-aggravated a little bit of the hip injury. We didn't get a definitive word from the Georgia Southern folks. He's been bothered by it since, Western Michigan, James, right?
Yeah, the 2 snaps against Arkansas State. When you're 165, there's not a lot of meat on those bones to pad it up when you're in those piles.
Second down play. Upshaw being flushed here to his right. Now reloads and throws, and incomplete for B.J. Johnson.
He's slow right now.
He's not moving around very well. And here Ellison wants to come in. In fact, saw Kevin Ellison across the way. Jen tried to jog on a few steps, but Upshaw stays in there.
I was watching Fabian when he came off the field before. He did have that left hip worked on. He rode the bike trying to keep it loose. He got up and started to jog back and forth, and when he made a twisting motion toward that left hip, really a lot of pain on his face, so not sure how much pain he's playing through at the moment, but that is what he is trying to do for his team.
Third down and 8. Hit as he throws and caught inbounds by B.J. Johnson at the 48. Durham was there. Upshaw took a huge lick. And Durham is shaken up for Georgia Tech.
Well, here you're gonna see what a tough guy. Jen just mentioned it, how much pain he's playing through and putting even more pain in a clean hit. Nothing late there. I mean, it's just part of it. And an excellent job of keeping that right foot in. And one thing, it looked like he might have stepped out a couple seconds prior, but that is not something that they could go back and review. Obviously taking a look at that right foot to make sure it was down. He had the ball secured. And B.J. Johnson, we've mentioned Monte Crockett here, another senior. They've got some pretty good weapons on the outside. And, I mean, what a tough kid in Fabian Upshaw. Hopefully he can get back in this football game to stand in there knowing that he's going to take a great big lick and already has the bad hip to convert on that big third down.
Ellison back in the game after the 20-yard throw. Makes it 1st and 10 out at the 48. And Ellison wants to throw out in the flat, and Gray levels Breida.
Ellison's pass complete to Breida.
Well, Kevin Ellison's come back in the ball game. In the first half, his only pass attempt was incomplete. You see Upshaw returning here.
Just give me one play. You mentioned it. The play before when he was hurting, he was waving Ellison back over there, and he can't stand being out.
Loss of 2. Here's Upshaw. Going to try and get it to Breida. Sprinting here to the near side. Breida. And out of bounds, but he'll have a first down, I believe, or close to it at the 42. of Georgia Tech.
Well, this is just what you needed. Both backers are up in those gaps right now. They're blitzing them. You hit them on the outside, and a great job blocking down the field. I think it's Miles Campbell holding on to his guy down the field, and the chains will move one more time. This is just what you needed for Georgia Southern to come out of that locker room and put it on them and march down the football field.
Breida just under 5 yards a carry. Upshaw going to dive. James, he can't run in space like he did in the first half before he was shaken up.
Well, he can barely get up right now. The poor kid is in a lot of pain. And he's such a fighter.
Ramsby will come in. There's Ellison. And
I can't believe he's still in there. Sorry, Wes, I can't. I mean, you saw it took him 5 seconds to get off the turf.
Yep. 11-point game. We've played about 3.5 minutes, or 2.5 minutes of this third quarter. Looking to throw. And the catch, Campbell. Knocked out of bounds. Lance Austin shoves him out near the 37. It'll be third down.
Pushed out of bounds by Lance Austin.
Again, he's going to stand in there strong, feeling the pressure coming on him. And that's a nice catch by Campbell. Go out there and pull it in with his fingertips.
Eagles are 6 of 11 on third down. They hit their one a moment ago on the 20-yard throw.
Jackets backing out. They'll bring 4.
And overthrows Crockett, incomplete. So Tyson Summers, Younghoe Koo, his longest is 53 in Jonesboro, Arkansas 10 days ago. And that's his career best, by the way. And this would be just beyond that, or are the Eagles going to go for it? And they are here on fourth down in the full 5. Ramsby's in the backfield and 4 receivers.
Lone touchdown for Georgia Southern was down on the goal line. That 4th down and 1. And they're a perfect 2 for 2 so far. But now they've got to go over 5 yards to get it.
Upshaw to throw. Pressure coming. He's sacked. Corey Griffin on the blitz. And Upshaw will get off the field.
Ted Roof calls it up. Just bring more than they can handle. And nobody left for Griffin. And how about the big plays? You're going to see them both coming here. Boom. And through the right side, left side of the offense, that A-gap, untouched. Just a clear path to the quarterback. And a quarterback who's fighting, but also who's hobbled a little bit right now. He's not going to get out of the arms of Corey Griffin. Excellent drop on 4th down for the Jackets.
Tight formation. Here's Thomas. And he'll pick up 3 on first down. Ironhead Gallen.
Tackle made by Gallen.
Makes the stop. And Sean Freeman is shaken up in the secondary for Georgia Southern. And Justin Thomas as they tend to Freeman. James, we'll see how big that miss on downs comes back here in Georgia Southern's afternoon, because you and I talked about the value of getting that kick down 11 to start the second half. And here is Clinton Lynch, of course, and we were talking about Lynch before the day started. And, of course, he's our hearty star to watch. And, James, we've updated his total touches.
He didn't have a whole lot of touches, but boy, were they impressive whenever he got his hands on the ball. And you got to keep feeding number 22. Good to see him back out there, because he was banged up a little bit in the first half and went over to the sidelines late.
2 touches, 81 yards for Lynch. Second down play, Thomas fakes the pitch, and he'll try and squeeze away. Legway made the tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 5 for Georgia Tech.
Again, Marcus Legway out in space. Watch him move. Watch him come across here, flatten, and go make a play. He's a guy that you'll see play a lot of football there at the next level. You may be calling a bunch of his games one day, Wes, because those guys just don't come around all the time. 6'2", 240 pounds that can really move.
Georgia Tech 2 of 5 on third down. Paul Johnson Yells at Brad Stewart, he draws wide here to the left side, and here comes Thomas on the option. Justin in trouble, and Ironhead Gallen going to drop him back at the 49. Boy, the Eagles had it sorted out pretty good there, and Georgia Tech goes 3 and out.
Well,
also 4.
It's a lot easier to take the right angle when you got him right here in the gut. Here's Gallen, and you're just going to see him open up. And you know what he does? He doesn't hesitate. Once he's got him in his sights, he just runs right through him, and you give him one way to go. And that one way to go was right back at him. And Justin Thomas certainly didn't want that. That's a big stop after your offense sputters and gets held on 4th down.
They went for the block. Rodwell got it away toward Crockett. And it will reach the end zone, and it will be a 51-yard punt by Rodwell. His longest of the season, 59 in Ireland in week 1 against Boston College.
Boy, how did they not get this? Wes, here's Ironhead Gallen on special teams. Playmaker on defense, and here he doesn't go at the spot. He goes off to the side.
Hardee's, the official biscuit of today's broadcast of Atlantic Coast Conference football. Beautiful day in Midtown Atlanta. We welcome you back to the corner of Bobby Dodd and Techwood Drive. Home team leads by 11 with James Bates, Jen Hildreth, Dave Berenger, our producer, Lonnie Dale, our director, Wes Durham here on the West Stands.
So they called him the Big Whistle, Bobby Dodd?
Bobby Dodd was known by his former players as the Big Whistle.
I'd like to see a Big Whistle Boulevard. Get one more street named after a great around here.
Eagles' second possession, and Ellison at the controls. Pitches it to Breida. Well played, and that is Lawrence Austin. Lance and Lawrence from Lamar County in Barnesville, Georgia. A good look at Lawrence.
Yeah, with the nickel look that Georgia Tech is coming into this matchup with, they needed Lawrence and those safeties to be more physical. And we've seen a whole lot of 2014 and 15 throughout the day. That's right where you want to call those names, right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe one he got there on that last play.
Breida, second down play, finds a canal and will be near a first down, up near the 30-yard line, Jen.
Yeah, I want to give you guys an update on the quarterback situation. Obviously, you see Ellison in the game at the moment. Fabian Upshaw, I was told by the trainer, took a knee to the back and has had some muscle spasm. That's what he's been dealing with recently. But I told you about the great relationship between these two guys. Ellison in there now, but he told his offensive line when Upshaw was in there, he said, you guys got to protect him when he's out there.
They're going to hand it to Ramsby on 3rd and short. Mitchell makes the stop, but L.A. Ramsby, 5'11" redshirt junior from Cincinnati, converts the 3rd down, and there's Fabian Upshaw with 107 yards of total offense today.
Trying to fight through it, and meanwhile his buddy's back out on the field. An offensive line that just continues to, when they really need it, win that one-on-one battle and get a yard or two to convert and move the chains on 3rd down. So another fresh set of downs, this time for Ellison and company.
Here goes Ellison. A little counter from the spread, and Serge Henderson slowed him down, but not before he got 9 yards. Sophomore from Tampa, Kyle Serge Henderson, pulls down Kevin Ellison. It was interesting, and now Serge Henderson shaking up on the play. It was interesting to hear Tyson Summers talk this week about his quarterbacks. He said, you know, Kevin's a little bit more of a free spirit, Fabian a little more cerebral with the game, and that has proven to be true here today. Ellison, the free spirit, in there now. And Georgia Southern will have 2nd and short when we come back to Atlanta. Midway the 3rd period, 11-point lead for the Jackets. Week, Cole Swindell, country star who's on the down home tour now out in the Midwest. Wish I could make the trip tomorrow for my guys.
You got to sing it. You can't just say it.
Here's Fields out of the timeout on 2nd and short. No gain on the play. Keyshawn Freeman made the start. Cole Swindell is one of many notable alums from Statesboro. Luke Bryan, the late Rob Baronis, Tracy Ham, of course, took him to those national championships.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Cathy, President and CEO Dan Cathy of Chick-fil-A, but Swindell is the guy now that GS had as a fixture on the country music scene now. Here is Ellison keeping it on 3rd and short, and he will have the first down toward the 49. I would imagine Cole, who is performing in Atlanta next Saturday night is looking in today.
You had your chance. Why do I have to be the one that does all the singing up here in the booth, Wes?
Oh, you going to sing now for us again?
No.
Oh.
He had his tweet. Wish I could be in Atlanta to see my boys.
That is totally your wheelhouse, Bates.
Luke Bryan. I didn't realize Luke Bryan was an Eagle as well.
15th first down of the day, and ball intended for Crockett and Lance Austin. Boy, Tyson Summers is hot at the Eagle bench. He thought Austin grabbed the jersey of Crockett, his intended receiver.
Looked like he came over the back. No flags. We'll take a look at it here. And Ellison, some time here in a window. I think that's a good play by 17 to come over with that front hand back. Well, that's what he's yelling at there. He did get away with one there, a big one. That's like his brother Lawrence just had a tackle. That was kind of like a tackle at the jersey, but in pass coverage. 2nd and 10 now.
Yep, Ellison. And this is Breida. Getting about 6 on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Eagles, who transitioned very nicely from the football championship subdivision, or the 01AA, into the Sun Belt. Winners of the GoDaddy Bowl last year beat Bowling Green.
Tyson Summers just spoke so highly of 36 Matt Breida. He really is a fun back to watch because he goes north and south right now. He gets you everything he can.
Trying to get it to Fields, and another play by Corey Griffin on the backside, James.
Except for right there. Here he tries to go east and west, and 14 is hunting him down. Corey Griffin has been fantastic as they've moved him around here in this defense today. And here's a 3rd down they won't get. Again, the penetration again. Ted Roof draws up a blitz, and he's bringing his safety 14. And it's a good quick drop on a back that's really given this defense fits on 3rd downs here today.
So now they'll bring on Matt Flynn, a redshirt junior from Loganville, Georgia. And Brad Stewart drops back to return the punt for Georgia Tech. 11-point lead for the Jackets here in the 3rd. And boy, Flynn hit that across the field, and it will jump out of bounds near the 10. 45-yard punt. And we get a stop in the action. 11-point lead for Georgia Tech. Jackets will have it back on offense when we continue from Midtown Atlanta. 21-10 Georgia Tech coming up on Thursdays around our regional sports network. Another edition of ACC All Access. They'll discuss what Louisville needs to do to stay in the playoff hunt. Olivia Harlan host. Check your local listings. Georgia Tech takes over off its 10. Jackets lead 11 with just under 5 to go here in the 3rd. Worst point of an origination for Justin Thomas, who hands to Mills on 1st down. And not much for the freshman Dedrick Mills, who comes in 10th in the ACC, 9th in per-game rushing average at just beyond 71 a game.
You see in there why it's so tough to run against those big defensive tackles for Georgia Southern. It's hard to move those bodies.
Clinton Lynch, Isaiah Willis, the A-backs here for Paul Johnson on 2nd down and long. Thomas, he will keep it and got hit shy of the 14-yard line. They'll measure his progress toward the 15, it looks like. Bernard Dawson, the defensive end, and it'll be 3rd down and 5. And you see, old school now. There's no play chart, right, Bates? All in the noggin. And he will send in J.J. Green to spell Clinton Lynch. We saw Lynch get banged up, James, after that second catch, and doesn't look like he's at 100% here in the second half.
J.J. Green, the big kickoff return for a touchdown, 96-yarder last week against Pitt, also scoring a touchdown on a pitch from the backfield. Love to get 5 yards right here, move the chains.
Thomas looking to throw. Going to set it up downfield for Stewart, who makes a great catch. Brad Stewart right over the top of the senior corner, Darius Jones.
Here you're going to see putting him on the run, setting up shop, and just putting it up there where only his guy can get it. Now look at the coverage. Darius Jones, he even has a feel on the body. A lot of times when you get a cornerback that runs beyond, it's because he doesn't have any body right there, stride for stride. But what a great job by Brad Stewart to come back and get it, go high pointer.
Here's the counter, and J.J. Green got roughed up and dropped out of the secondary by Baldry, who's playing the free safety spot. About 4 on the play.
Here's 26 right here. Watch Baldry, just a redshirt freshman. And you can't coach this. I mean, obviously, here's a guy, that's the way he's playing high school football. And, man, I love that. There's one thing that excites me. It's a defensive guy, an open field that just makes up his mind that he's going to go make a play and not give a back a chance to give him some wiggle and get in trouble.
Second down and a long little dive, and here's Mills shuffling toward a first down at the 36-yard line. James, you know, it's interesting. Sean Bedford played center here, now works on their radio broadcast with Andy Demetra. We know Roddy Jones, who works on part of the ACC football coverage. Both talk about Dedrick Mills having the slide step as a B-back. Haven't seen that really around here since Jonathan Dwyer in 08 and 09 when he ran the lead for Paul Johnson at that spot.
Well, and you know, and here we've bragged on the other side of the ball on Breida of getting his head down and going north and south and getting everything you can. He did just that right there, looking pretty good for a freshman.
Here goes Mills again. First down for Georgia Tech inside the 25. Kind of getting the dive game cranked up here, James.
Yeah, and you know, it is tough to move those big bodies when they're fresh. But when you get deep in these drives, there you see him doing a good job there in the middle on 99. Big Ellison, over 300 pounds at defensive tackle. And that's one thing. You get that perimeter game mixed in, and you run those big bodies, you wear them down a little bit, and then it is easier to punch right at them.
Base look for Paul Johnson's offense. Here comes Thomas again. A little pitch, and Lynn Griffin converted from the defensive side a couple of years ago. Gets knocked down, loss of 3 back to the 27 by William Bussey Jr. Very good player, veteran player, senior from Thompson, Georgia. And he'll spot it back to the 27. That's a loss of almost 4 on the play.
Well, Tyson Summers actually inherited a veteran team, a lot of upperclassmen, juniors and seniors on this Eagles team.
Final minute of this third period. And there goes Mills again. Inside the 20 to the 19. Jamal Johnson, defensive end on the stop.
Well, that's so tough as a linebacker when they give it to that fullback, when they give it to that B-back in this offense, and it's such a quick hitter, and you're trying to cipher through what's going on in front of you, get a feel, who's blocking me, where am I, there's the initial read, and boom, right now he's in your lap. That's why it's been so successful right here on this drive.
Well, it'll be 3rd and 6 for Georgia Tech, and we'll start quarter 4 here in Atlanta. Second meeting all time between the Jackets and Eagles on Hall of Fame weekend in Atlanta. So far, the home team's got 11-point advantage. Final 15 coming up next. Through 3 quarters in Atlanta, Georgia Tech 352 yards of offense ahead of their per-game average, but 39 plays, James, and a pretty good per-play average. And, boy, Justin Thomas has been spectacular throwing the ball.
Yeah, he has. And can they get it done right here on 3rd down one more time? A big, as we start the 4th quarter, big 3rd down try.
3 of 7 on the day. Thomas looking to throw again. June cannot hang on. Incomplete. Now flag is thrown against Liptrot, I believe.
Defense, number 30. The ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
That's his favorite guy right now is June. And, well, they got away with one on the other side grabbing a jersey, but anytime you reach out and grab that jersey, and that's why Georgia Southern, I know the dark blue gloves, they look good, but when your opponent's wearing a white jersey, you got to wear white gloves so they blend in a little bit. Tyson Summers was upset with the no call and upset with the call here, but 1st and goal.
Here's Mills chugging away. Knocked back from the 6. Dedrick Mills, Jay Ellison, Ryan George hit him. And Paul Johnson gets Isaiah Willis. Gives him the play.
Well, and right before halftime, he settled for a field goal try, and it went wide. Georgia Tech needs to punch this ball in the end zone right here, right now. They don't want to make it a 14-point game.
10th play of the drive. Mills again. Maybe to the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal there, James. Notice the rhythm today, Batesy. Perimeter, dive, back to perimeter, and then when they seem to solve all the problems, throw. Really nice three-way balance when you think about the way Georgia Tech goes about it.
Well, in this third quarter anyway, because they really got him out of their rhythm. I felt like Georgia Southern did there later in the first half. And right now, everything kind of tightens up a little bit, and those big bodies can eat it up in the middle. Can they stand up to this offensive line?
That's Griffin in motion. Thomas will keep it. Trying to get to the backside. JT will score. Dive. Perimeter. Justin Thomas, 2nd rushing score of the day, 3rd of the year.
Second touchdown for Justin Thomas on the ground, and second time it's been somebody that's been unable to keep the right angle. And Dedrick Mills, the freshman, on the outside. Not easy to go outside and block in space, just like it's not easy to tackle. Does a great job of making sure that hole was there.
Extra point by Butker is good. Minute 35 gone in the 4th, and a new score in Atlanta. Jackets by 18. By Honda Generator, by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. We have a plan that's right for you. And by Ford. James, our director, Lonnie Dale, with the dash cam on his drive in this morning.
If you listen, I don't think the audio's on right now, but he was listening to Wham! Make It Big.
That's probably a good choice given the traffic some days here, right? 18-point lead for Georgia Tech. Butker hangs it toward Malik Henry. 3 yards deep. He'll run it out. Henry 15, 20, and tangled up at the 25. And Victor Alexander handled it. But Justin Thomas gets our Z-Max performance play of the game.
Well, and here you see him earlier in the game, and he's done it through the air as well. He had the great big touchdown run to open up this game, and finding his guys like Lynch on the outside. Had a great big conversion to Brad Stewart as well. Here's that last touchdown. And Ryan George, you can't come underneath the block and flatten out and catch Justin Thomas. And Ironhead Gallant found that out early in the game. Even with nobody on you, it's tough enough to take the right angle. But Justin Thomas been fantastic here throughout his career.
236 yards total offense, and here's Crockett on the catch and a first down. 11 yards and a first down for Georgia Southern on their opening snap, Jen.
Yeah, and Wes, James just said Justin Thomas, what a career he's had. One of his best games in his career was 2 years ago against Georgia Southern. And when we talked to Paul Johnson yesterday, he said he wanted Justin to be a runner. He said he was a little slow to take off and run in the last game, wanted to see more of that. I think he's gotten a nice balance out of his quarterback today. And I asked if he showed him that game from 2014. He said, oh, yeah, he's seen it.
Timeout taken by Georgia Tech. And the head coach of the Jackets not happy with the way his team got lined up there. We'll step aside with them. 28-10 in Atlanta. Back to our coverage of ACC football after this. Congratulations to Catherine Skokna from Rincon, Georgia. She's our Week 5 and final Honda Generator tailgate winner, Bates.
Congratulations, Catherine.
Yep. You didn't win, James.
Nope, didn't win.
Nope.
Never entered, though. Or I would have.
First down play. And my goodness. Ellison had Campbell wide open. A breakdown in coverage in the Yellow Jacket secondary. And Kevin Ellison overthrows Miles Campbell.
So many times today, these quarterbacks have been under pressure and justifiably forcing the ball, getting rid of it in a hurry. This time, Ellison finally had an extra couple seconds, couple beats to get rid of it, and he just puts it out there too far. Otherwise, it would have been just what you needed, drawn up there in that long timeout we had.
By the way, one of those signals is the play.
As far as you know.
Oh, well, that's true. Second down and 10. Ellison to throw, pressure coming. Took a step up and got deflected and then caught. Deflected by A.J. Gray and then caught by B.J. Johnson. Last week, a deflected pass was run on for a touchdown at Pitt. And here it converts a second and long.
What was it, 74 yards last week? Jacket fans are saying, oh, my goodness, not again. This is a catch. Good concentration by the receiver as well.
Breida got wrestled down by Patrick Gamble after a couple of yards. Last week, Scott Orndorff, the tight end at Pitt, caught it and went 74.
Great job not only to adjust and pull it in, but make sure that that foot was down by B.J. Johnson.
Ellison second down, looking to throw again out in the flat. Here's L.A. Ramsby. Two Jackets are there, and he will be short of the first down by a step or two. Lamont Simmons, sophomore transfer from Southern Cal, James, out of Raines in Jacksonville, along with Brant Mitchell. And here is Ramsby, and I think that'll be enough for the first down on the dive play. Had to break the plane of the 36, and we'll see if Jeff Heiser and his crew want to look at this. Antonio Simmons and Chase Alford, the first two white helmets there, and Tyson Summers not exactly thrilled, I think, with the spot here.
Andy Quan says it's good. Center steps up there.
And does Jeff Heiser's crew want to look at this? Maybe so.
I mean, 1st and 10, Jeff. He's perfect so far this year, so he's so good with that yellow line on our broadcast, they may not even need to bring these chains out.
And he was right. Boom. About 2/3 of the ball.
Quick over the ball, Georgia Southern, and just enough punch. And actually, gave him a pretty good spot.
Yeah, you're right.
Not sure he made it up that far.
1st and 10 in Georgia Tech territory for the Eagles. Approaching 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Ellison going to load it downfield and caught on the comeback by Keegan Williams. Right around the 10-yard line for Williams on a 25-yard throw.
Well, missed one on this drive, wanted that one back, threw one into the hands of a defender that was deflected to his guy, and this time on the fly with the blitz picked up and time to throw, Ellison delivers, and he's got him knocking on the door one more time.
Ellison looks, sails it, incomplete. Chase Alford cut it loose and hit Ellison as he let it go, and there's a flag around the 1 in the Georgia Tech secondary. And
holding defense number 20, 10-yard correction, half the distance, first down.
Lawrence Austin guilty. It'll be 1st and goal there, Jen.
Yeah, and watching Kevin Ellison on this drive, having to go through the air for quite a bit of it. And when I talked to him, he said a main point of focus for him, he's been known as a runner his entire career, was having better pocket presence, being smarter reading the defense. And right now the Eagles relying on some more of that on this drive.
1st and goal, just outside the 5. Ramsby and drives it to just shy of the goal line. And it will be 2nd down. And a little pushing and shoving around the north goal here at Grant Field.
Well, we've seen Ramsby, Breida, and Fields.
Hold on.
And the ball popped loose. After he hit the ground, though.
Yeah. why Ellison was in there in a hurry. Malik Henry as well. Looked like Henry actually fell on it.
So they're going to take a look at this, but at least from the high end zone look we had a moment ago, looked like Ramsby's arm had hit the ground. You get a decision at home.
It gets flipped around. Go figure. It's Corey Griffin that stands him up at the goal line. And I think this ball, just where they've got it marked, it looks like it should be down right there inside the 1.
Can't tell anything from there, can you?
But Wes,
yeah.
Where's the? We've seen Griffin and we've seen Gray make all kinds of really outstanding defensive football plays. But where's the nastiness inside? I mean, if this is a team that went up to Pitt and, you know, a tip ball away from probably coming back with a great big ACC win, for them to truly go make a run. And yeah, they, you know, right now it's going to be tough for them to get back in that ACC championship picture. But to win some of these games, you know, as they start behind the 8 ball a little bit, they've got to be nastier inside. Right. They got to bring the pop in that front 7. And you'd like to see a little bit more grittiness. Too many times, I think, in a crucial type situation.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. 2nd and goal.
So it'll be 2nd and goal just inside the 1.
You know, and not to take anything away from the guys up front. I think that this offensive line for Georgia Southern, so far they've got to be proud of the way those guys have performed and really played some physical football. You know, when they need one, when they need a couple. In a situation like this on 2nd down and goal, where they've already been in it in the first half, it took them 4 downs, but they punched it in.
Yep.
Let's see if the Jackets can make a goal line stand this time around.
Ramsby in the backfield with Ellison. And he'll get the call, and he stopped. He might have given a step back there, James. Good pursuit. Plugging the holes Georgia Tech's front did there.
This is going to be a good look at it. Look at the penetration. Well, that's what I'm talking about right there. Who's big 90, West?
Brandon Adams.
Brandon Adams got underneath, and he stood up the offensive lineman and created all that log jam. That's an excellent job.
Ramsey again, dives and scores. I believe. No signal yet. There it is on the far side. And
no.
Ramsby comes off with the helmet. Now flag is thrown. Tyson Summers comes to get his back.
That's a personal foul, taking your helmet off on the field.
Ramsey will get the touchdown. The redshirt junior from Cincinnati. And Coach Paul Johnson on the walkout as Tyson Summers makes sure Ramsby's been taken care of.
Results of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against number 1 of the offense. This is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for taking his helmet off. That penalty be enforced on the kickoff.
So a 10-play drive resulting in the 2nd touchdown of the day for L.A. Ramsby. And now Koo will try and add the point after to make it an 11-point game with 9.5 to go. And the point after by Koo is good. 9:38 to go in Atlanta. L.A. Ramsby scores. A little pushing and shoving going on in Atlanta. Jackets still in front. Atlanta, Georgia Tech 28 and Georgia Southern 17, James. And a moment ago, L.A. Ramsby cashed it in from a yard out.
He did, and watch him wash those bodies down up front. A good job. Even Kevin Ackerman, the tight end, getting there involved. And there you see some of the pushing and shoving that came late and upset Ramsby. He took his helmet off, and it cost him 15 yards on this kickoff.
J.J. Green going to get a chance off the 12. Trying to find a seam, 25, and got face masked at the 25. Did Green. Flags thrown immediately. J.J. Green ran one back last week against Pitt. Here's referee Jeff Easer.
Personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 11, 15-yard penalty.
So they got 15 on the kick, 15 more here on the face mask on Green.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous one. This is why it is such a big penalty. And you know, he just threw him down by his face mask and trying to protect those guys. A very dangerous play. So 33 yards when you can't afford to give it up. Georgia Southern doing everything they can to just stick around. Now cut the lead back down to 11. And you help out the Jackets as you take a look at the total yards this half. And just helping them out.
And there's Marshall. Marcus Marshall, the sophomore from Millbrook High School in Raleigh. Logan Hunt, Darius Sapp, the stop for Georgia Southern.
Gain on the play. It's second down and 4.
And now with 9 minutes and change to go, this really is about how Georgia Tech can keep this possession and the game clock moving, James, with an 11-point lead.
Yeah, do just what Georgia Southern has done quite a few times today, is just chew it up. March on down the field. Just like this. Boom, boom.
Marshall carries the ball. Brought down by Logan.
So a first down run again by Marshall. And while we get a break, our Bass Pro Shop catch of the game. Well, it's got to be B.J. Johnson, doesn't it?
the concentration after the tip, a nice break on the ball, and A.J. Gray, at the very least, thought he was going to have a PBU. Boy, things just haven't been bouncing the way that Paul Johnson and company need them.
2 catches, 39 yards today for Johnson. Here's Thomas on the option. JT will keep it and pick up a couple of yards, almost 5 on first down for the senior from Prattville, Alabama.
You know, and even with that loss, bouncing the way, of course, those that didn't see last week, and the loss to Pitt was a deflected ball that should have fallen incomplete. Instead, fell into the hands of a Pitt receiver, tight end, went 74 yards for a touchdown. But that one incompletion, and really the only one that should have been for Justin Thomas, a quarterback that Paul Johnson says played the best 2 games, the last 2 games.
Marshall will have another first down. Inside the 38 goes Marcus Marshall, whose older brother Keith Marshall played in Georgia with Todd Gurley. And got to start with the NFL this past season. And there's Freddie Burton. Boy, his ties, not only the ACC, but Georgia Southern, run across the gamut. Of course, an outstanding pivot at center for Georgia Tech.
He's got to win this one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got to go back home, and that'd be tough. His senior year.
Thomas pitched it out, and this is Lynn Griffin. He'll get bottled up quickly, though. Maybe a yard, maybe not on the play, but James is right. Freddie Burton probably needs a win here today, Jen.
He does. As you mentioned, he is from Statesboro. His dad, Willie Burton, taught there at Georgia Southern, and you may well know him from his playing days at NC State. ACC Player of the Year as a running back in 1973 in the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, ACC legend. And Freddie's dad, Willie, passed away last December, had been battling congestive heart failure. And so certainly Freddie, playing with a bit of a heavy heart, has a tattoo in his left arm, said he thinks about his dad every day. But yes, you know, when they're playing Georgia Southern, 3 of the guys on this Georgia Southern team were taught by Willie Burton. Some strong ties there.
Here's Justin Thomas off the counter, will slide down on 2nd and long, just shy of the first down. Well, need 2 or 3 yards. He maybe hit the deck a little early there.
Yeah, and that's, and it's a good spot too, because they're protecting the quarterbacks when they go into their slide, but at the same time, to make sure that the offense doesn't get an advantage, it's right when that slide starts is where they mark the ball down. So a good job by this crew. And Justin Thomas, I'm sure, thought he'd be looking at a 3rd down and 1 or so, but it's 3rd down and 3.
Lance Davis and June are the receivers, and now they'll go to slot, James, and Bring Clinton Lynch out here in the slot to the near side. Here is Thomas, and he will have the first down there. Baldry makes the stop. Boy, a lot of moving parts there for Paul Johnson on a quarterback keeper.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts and just really window dressing. When you get down to it, what you like to see is, just as we talked about the offensive line for Georgia Southern, delivering that punch and firing off the football and winning those hand-to-hand battles. Georgia Tech is taking over right now in the interior, the offensive line, the last couple drives, really putting it together and taking the punch to this defensive front of Georgia Southern.
250 yards of total offense for Justin Thomas, and here is Mills on first down.
You got a couple guys for Georgia Southern that are playing a little bit tired right now. Ironhead Gallen needs to play like Ironhead Gallen and step up and meet some of these blockers. This is exactly what happened against Arkansas State about this time in the game. A game they absolutely should have won, but they didn't play, I don't think, in the fourth quarter, half of the third quarter, Georgia Southern GATA type of football. And right now is a time when they've got to play a little bit tougher, because Georgia Tech has the upper hand in physicality on this side of the ball anyway.
Thomas straight ahead. This is Mills. Dedrick Mills, another touchdown. 20-yard run for Mills, his second score of the day. Plays all on the ground, James. 61 yards, and they chewed up 5.5 minutes.
26 is just a freshman, but what a perfect fit for this offense. Boy, does he hit that hole fast. And when the offensive line is clearing the way like they've been doing the last couple drives, man, that's a dangerous combo.
And the point after good. Back to a 3-score game now for the Jackets. And Dedrick Mills now 9 touchdowns on the year. Had the game winner in Ireland in week 1 and cashes in for a second today.
Quick he gets in deep into that defense. And, you know, I mean, you look at his numbers here today. It's just a freshman. 13 carries, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's not too shabby, is it?
Nope. Comes in the number 10 rusher in the ACC, 9th per game average, 71.5. And as James just told you, he's added above that average here today. As Paul Johnson noted on Tuesday, still ain't run for 100 yards yet in the game. Got to keep the bar moving up. Butker's kick through the back end zone. And Southern, by the way, our Honda generator power play, why not? The rookie from Waycross, Georgia.
Well, and a good job by the offensive line and carrying them into the end zone. How about the lick that Justin Thomas took? He popped up, and the guy that dropped him there, like they didn't get a little flag there for celebration, but the guy that dropped him, Justin, got up and gave him an earful. He takes the licking and keeps on ticking. You can hit me all day long, but I don't have the ball.
So 1st and 10. Ellison wants to throw on first down. Campbell open here and dropped it. Right at the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Georgia Southern, by the way, this is the 3rd, James, of 4 straight road games. They're the only school in FBS ball playing 4 straight road games this year. That is being dealt from the bottom, isn't it? A lot of low cards in that hand.
Trying desperately to get back to, what did Irk Russell call it, the prettiest little stadium in America? Is that what the...
Yeah, Paulson Stadium. Here is Ellison. Middle of the field. Matt Breida, and he'll be pulled back by Alford at the 31-yard line. Yeah, a lot of proud Eagle fans. Boy, Paulson Stadium, when Irk Russell got the Eagles up and rolling to those national championships in the 80s. Paul Johnson came there as the head coach, put a couple more up on the board. And, of course, last year, Willie Fritz, who's now the head coach at Tulane, took them to a bowl victory. And that'll be enough to convert the first down on the throw to Campbell as we approach 3 minutes to play.
Well, last week we called the Army and Duke game.
Jeff Monken, former coach. Yeah. Boy, he did a good job there too. And Tyson Summers, a little bumpy here, but still 3-2. Ellison out of the pocket and away from the pressure, and will get out of bounds after about an 8-yard gain.
Good job. Take what you can and stop that clock. Got 3 timeouts left. There you saw the shot there in between plays of Fabian Upshaw over on the sidelines. You hate to see him get banged up again. Came in with just coming off the hip injury and took a knee in the back and tried to fight through it. So this 1-2 punch is just a 1 punch from number 4 now.
And they'll hand it to Fields, and he'll have enough for the first down. James, boy, Fields again. Boy, he showed great second, third effort in the first half and keeps it going here in quarter 4. The thing about Summers, James, and we talked to him this week, and I've really appreciated the respect he has for the traditions at Georgia Southern. He knew what was important to the fan base, knows what's important to the legacy and history of that program.
Well, you know, growing up in southern Georgia, in Tifton, you can't help but respect it.
Big league catch on the backside. Crockett into Georgia Tech territory out near the 42 there. And with 2 minutes and counting now, Eagles are not letting up. Ellison looks inside and dropped by B.J. Johnson. Would have been a first down. And now it's 3rd and 3. And they'll, by the way, continue the last of the 4 straight road games. Little trip around the corner to where Batesy used to head out to, Las Cruces next week.
Oh.
New Mexico State.
Land of enchantment.
Ellison's 8 of 13 today. And Fields again spins off a would-be tackle and has enough for the first down.
I hope they don't have to take those yellow school buses all the way to down there to the tip of New Mexico, Las Cruces.
Well, I was thinking they'd fly into El Paso to get Las Cruces, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what you
got to
do.
stop and see Maynard at the car wash, don't you?
You got that.
El Paso.
H&H car wash.
That's it. Ellison hit as he throws and incomplete. Keyshawn Freeman got around him as he cut it loose, and that'll stop the clock with 89 seconds to play. Well, Tyson Summers wanted his team to get this tempo going. Georgia Tech has gone to a dime, nickel look here, and overthrows the intended receiver in the middle of the field, and that is Hampton McConnell, redshirt freshman from Cumming, Georgia. Well, Georgia Tech, they can protect the last 124, James. They get a week off before Duke comes here to Grant Field.
You read my mind, because I was just going to ask you, P.J. Davis, what's the word on him? Should they get him back? Because they miss him.
Yeah, they do. I would hope that they sounded like they were optimistic he could get back. Here's Fields. They'll pick up the 3rd and long, and knocked out of bounds is Wesley Fields by A.J. Gray. And the Jackets see now 1st and 10 for Georgia Southern at the 13.
The Eagles just continue to fight, dumping it out there behind those big bodies. The big hogs leading the way.
24-yard play. Ellison going to loop it in the air, and it is broken up on the way to the intended receiver. And that was Quan Howard. And it'll be pass interference.
Defense, number 20. The penalty be half the distance. First down.
It'll take it down to around the 6 or 7.
There's another look at it, grabbing onto that jersey. That wasn't enough, going up in the air and kind of banging bodies a little bit too, but just can't hold on to that jersey. It's tough, man. That receiver, he's got the advantage. There's no question about it. This is one of the toughest jobs there is. And it's got to be the toughest thing to do in football is just cover some of these speedsters.
70 seconds left in the ball game. Ellison looking inside. Johnson the catch and the touchdown. B.J. Johnson's first touchdown catch of the year. With 1:03 to play.
It's kind of hard to believe, even though it's run a lot there, Tyson Summers, but they've also started to throw it a little bit more this year. They're on the inside as big number 12, and I mean, that's a good call to go for the big body there of B.J. Johnson. He's 6'1", 212 pounds. And Lawrence Austin walked up on him. He's 5'9", so he's just going to wall him off. Got a nice, easy target. Easiest throw for a quarterback is that quick slant right over the middle when you've got a window and got time.
And the point after, Younghoe Koo punches it through. With 1:03 to go, and Tyson Summers' team has it cut back to an 11-point deficit, Jen.
Well, you know, it's been quite a week for this Georgia Southern team as well, Wes. Of course, everybody on this East Coast aware of the damage that Hurricane Matthew had along the shore, and Statesboro was not left out of that. They did have some damage on campus. The baseball stadium, people telling me, took the worst hit, but really nothing too much that they had to deal with. Still, though, Tyson Summers saying he had to make sure his guys were safe. Having played on Wednesday, he gave his players the option of being able to go home if they wanted. A lot of them stayed there in Statesboro. I talked to Ironhead Gallen and said it was just a crazy week. It felt very strange. They had no class last Thursday or Friday or Monday of this week, so a little bit of off the routine for these guys coming into this one.
Jen, Tyson Summers, one of those guys that knew just how much it would impact, and we can tell you that you can help as well. The American Red Cross is trying to provide meals and shelter to those when they need it most. Donate today. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. And you see the text information as well that you can make a $10 contribution. Going to try to skip it along the ground here, and A.J. Gray will make the play. And Georgia Southern has all 3 timeouts and 1:01 to go. And Paul Johnson's team gets a week off next Saturday. And then there's the look, James. Duke, at Carolina, at Virginia Tech. 3 of their last 5 will be on the road. And none of those spots easy.
No.
None of those games are easy.
No, how about Duke last night?
Yeah, you're impressed, weren't you?
Well, you know, I mean, it's they go on the road and give Louisville everything they wanted, and it you know, very similar to this Georgia Southern bunch. And you know, you're not quite the horses out on the field as the other team, but you coach and you fight hard, and it just shows. It shows you what a couple turnovers can do to a football team when you look at games like last night, like this one even. I mean, this is you know, imagine in this game if Georgia Tech turns it over a couple times, and Georgia Southern, you know, you get them a couple freebies and don't make them go very far. It's, you know, Duke, same situation last night, fought as hard as they can, but also good football teams find a way to win, even sometimes when they've got a tight one and nobody else expected it to be tight.
First of the 3 timeouts. Matthew Jordan, by the way, in at the quarterback for Georgia Tech. Well, and they go to the final 2 minutes at Frank Howard Field, James. Tied at 17. Wow. We saw the Pack a couple weeks ago. I thought they had enough offensively and enough defensively and learned something from their loss at East Carolina.
Well, and defensively along that defensive front, they've got some bodies that not everybody has, and they've got depth on the defensive line, right, too. So they can rotate them in and keep them fresh. But you're right, offensively, they've got some weapons that can give everybody trouble.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. How many schools do we see that you mentioned the depth on the defensive line? I was impressed they were able to get pressure with 4. Yeah. Not many teams we see at this level can do that.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Sometimes when you can bring 3 or you can bring 4 and you don't have to get creative and draw up all these blitzes to try to get some pressure on a quarterback, and you can drop 7 into coverage against, 4 receivers?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to tell you who's going to win that battle.
Well, and you see how big it is as we look at the updated Atlantic. It includes Louisville's win last night to go to 3-1 in the division, 5-1 overall. And, of course, the Tigers with the number 3 ranking. Florida State, Wake Forest, Carolina, Miami, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, all starting here within the next 25-26 minutes. In a busy week 7 in the ACC. 3rd and short for Jordan. And Matthew Jordan will have the first down to the 40-yard line. And for all intents and purposes, that will be that here in Atlanta. Georgia Tech will have to snap in one more time. Tyson Summers not going to use the timeouts. And the Eagles will go to 1-3 on the road. James, still the one win against the Power 5 late November of 2013 at Gainesville.
There you go.
Close calls a couple of years ago here in Atlanta and at NC State. And they've got Ole Miss in early November.
Boy, you got that Gator jab in just in time, Wes.
And there's the final snap of the ball game. And Georgia Tech will go to 4-3. Paul Johnson's team got some big plays. They were looking for that today. Got them early and then got some productive touchdown drives in the second half and win today by 11. Jackets will take the bye week and then host Duke here in 2 weeks. And there's a hug for some former Georgia Tech players, including one of his greatest players, Tracy Ham, the All-America quarterback who led them to 2 national titles. And the coach still has some strong ties down in Statesboro, and he was pretty candid yesterday, James. Yeah, still got a lot of friends down there, still know some people. Yes, it's a team I'm familiar with, but game's the game still. Absolutely.
Special times. You can be an offensive genius, but you got to have some players. And Tracy Ham, I went back this week watching some of those highlights. Tracy Ham got it done.
Let's check in with the coaches with Jen.
Thank you, Wes. Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. Your offense, well, you got a big well right off the bat.
Yeah, I thought the offense played pretty good. We had a hard time on 3rd down on defense, but we didn't give up a lot of big plays, so we held them, at least points over.
You told me that Justin Thomas, you felt, had his best 2 games the last 2. Did he take another step today?
I thought he played well. And, we missed some in the last drive on the first half, but I thought he did a good job, and he was determined to get some first downs when we had to have them.
And I know you told me this offense, not necessarily geared to get the ball in the hands of anyone specifically, but Dedrick Mills, a freshman, another good game for him.
Well, finally in the second half, we got him going a little bit. We had a hard time running inside the tackles to begin with.
Well, Coach, congrats.
Thank you.
Wes?
Jen, thanks very much. Paul Johnson's 65th win here at Georgia Tech. And the Jackets go to 4-3. And now we'll have the bye week after 7 straight to start the season before hosting Duke here in 2 weeks. And the Jackets and Eagles in just their second meeting ever here today. Georgia Tech comes away as an 11-point winner in Atlanta. James, we talked about big plays. They started early, like the 3rd snap, because once Georgia Tech saw Southern win the toss and defer, Justin Thomas wasted no time.
They barely even got the car off the field. And Justin Thomas ran this one. Look at Ricky June. The big plays are going to keep coming for this offense if they keep blocking out there on the perimeter. Here's a busted coverage by Georgia Southern, and Clinton Lynch makes them pay. And just like that, a team that was looking for some big plays had 2 huge ones to jump out 14-0.
Southern gets a lot of credit, though. They came battling back.
And they did it. You heard Coach frustrated about the 3rd downs on defense. It's because Southern on that drive and then many after converted time after time on 3rd downs. There's Dedrick Mills. The freshman looked pretty good today.
And then Justin Thomas, a touchdown score.
Mills blocking on the outside there. Wes created that.
Rams became right back, and then here was the one that salted it away for the Jackets. Second rushing score of the day for Dedrick Mills. He finished with just shy of 90 yards. The Eagles did get a touchdown pass from Ellison to Johnson late, but Tech was able to recover the onside kick and run out the clock. And Jen is standing by with JT.
Yeah, Wes, I'm waiting for you guys to stop showing the Justin Thomas highlights so I can talk to Justin Thomas, but I don't think he minds too much. Justin, talk to me about your offense in this game, your game plan going in, and what you feel the team did well.
I think we just went back to the basics. Just was aggressive up front. A lot of guys made some big plays, and we started off fast, but we haven't been doing. So we just got to keep the momentum going. We have a bye week, rest up, and come back and finish the second half of the season.
Looked like you had a nice balance, too, where you guys would work into the perimeter, work the dive, work in the pass when you needed it, some big third downs there. How did you feel that went?
I think we all executed well. The coaches did good distributing the ball inside, outside, and everybody did their job. You know, when their number was called, they made the play, and we got to keep doing it.
Coach Johnson told us this week that he talked to you a little bit about wanting you to be a little more of a runner. He knows what you can do with your legs. Thought maybe you were slow to take off. Did you take that to heart and maybe look back at what you did against these guys the last time, too, as some motivation?
I did. You know, I even told him, first day of practice, I was like, it's going to be a big game for the quarterbacks to run. So that first drive, I took advantage of it, made them get out of what they're doing, and, you know, that's what I got to look forward to the rest of the season, just trying to be more aggressive.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you for one more handoff on the day, and that's to get your freshman running back, Dedrick Mills, in here. Can you do that for me?
Gladly.
All right, thanks, congrats. All right, we'll get Dedrick here. He's coming, guys. How's it going? Congratulations. Well, that was a big game for you. Tell me about how you fit into this offensive system, what you like about being a B-back here at Georgia Tech.
I mean, I pretty much ran something similar to the same thing in high school, so coming to this offense pretty much easy to me. So, I mean, I feel like I'm a big factor to this offense, you know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, you know. I got to come out here and compete and do it for my team and everybody that's not playing and everybody that's hurt, you know, and for the fans.
What do you think makes this offense click when you guys get things going? Look, you've had some tough breaks the last couple of games. Now you get here, you get the win. When this offense is working well, what's it doing?
When the offense is working well, I mean, pretty much everybody doing their assignment and doing what they've been coached to do. So, I mean, it makes it easier for you to drive up and down the field and win.
And now you get an off week, right? Except you probably want to keep playing. Now you got the momentum.
Yes, ma'am.
He's happy for the break. All right, well, congrats. Appreciate watching you today.
All right, thank you.
Wes.
All right, Jen, thanks very much to Justin Thomas and Dedrick Mills. And this second one, James, kind of showed you the full skill box.
Yeah, guys up front, they started off, and then the freshmen will finish it up, carrying guys into the end zone.
Well, you see the Jackets finish the ball game, 437 yards total on 55 plays. Time of possession was really dominated by Georgia Southern, James, until those last two touchdown drives, I guess, by Georgia Tech.
Well, and a lot of it had to do, you don't want to sound like a broken record, but 13 of 20 for Georgia Southern on third downs, just staying on the field. And that's one thing you better believe in this off week. The defense, hopefully they can get P.J. Davis, their linebacker, the leader there in the middle, get him back, because I think they missed him. Especially on a few of those third and shorts here today.
Georgia Tech averaged almost 8 yards a play. Bye week coming for the Jackets. Duke's here in 2 weeks to Grant Field. But a winning Saturday in Atlanta. Georgia Tech 35, Georgia Southern 24. That's the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That will be the home not only of the Atlanta Falcons, but also a college football playoff championship game in 2018.
They're working on that camera lens-like roof that you were explaining to me.
Great to be with James Pace today at Grant Field, Jen Hildreth, and our outstanding crew. We saw a good ball game today, but we saw a lot of big plays. We were wondering about big plays for Georgia Tech. Boy, Jackets delivered early today.
They did. Defensively, they did a good job of shutting down the big plays. Some troubles on third down, but you've got guys that were hunting down. Rod Rukchongong was really good from his defensive end spot early. And then guys like A.J. Gray, guys like Corey Griffin from their safety spots. I think Corey Griffin had double-digit tackles. A.J. Gray had 7 or 8 tackles as well. They had tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Griffin on a blitz a couple times. Here he goes right here. This was a huge drop on a third down against Ellison. They were all over the field. And a lot of times you don't like to see your safeties with high tackle numbers, right. But when they walk them up like that, and they're that active, and they're making all those plays at the line, of course you do. And two ball hawks that were really the difference in this game and shutting down a lot of those big plays.
Well, let's take a quick check of the Coastal Division while we've got a moment. We told you, of course, Duke lost last night, so they're winless in 3 league games. Georgia Tech won against Boston College to start the year. They had lost 3 coming in. And, of course, you see Miami, Carolina is the big one today. Virginia Tech's at Syracuse, and Virginia and Pitt playing a good ball game today.
Well, everybody's doing
It's unbelievable. And this division's always been a crapshoot.
Well, it certainly has, and there's a lot of excitement going on right now in the Atlantic. You've got overtime with NC State and Clemson. What an exciting year across the board there in the ACC. But, again, Virginia Tech sitting there at the top right now looking pretty. but it's never pretty to go to the Carrier Dome. So, they just need to get in there and get out with a win, and Hokie fans don't need to complain if they get a W up in Syracuse.
It not only changes on Saturdays, it can change within the hour, the way this league is going right now for sure. Here today in Atlanta, Georgia Tech, an 11-point win against Georgia Southern. Stay tuned. More to come from our coverage in Atlanta right after this.